Changing the world is difficult. One reason is that the most important problems like climate change, racism, and poverty are structural. They emerge from our collective practices, economies, and built environments. The dilemma is that there is no way to make structural change without individual people making different choices. In this special episode of the book series, we learn how we can connect our personal choices to structural change, why individual choices matter, though not in the way people usually think. Viewers and listeners, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning once again. I'm here today to discuss this new book, Somebody Should Do Something, How Anyone Can Help Create Social Change. I'm here today with the co-authors and the co-editors of the book, and we are all set to discuss. This book was published by MIT Press, and a copy of it can be accessed right in the description panel that is right on this video. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having us.
That's we're awesome. Honored. That's awesome. I'm going to want us to get started with some introductions. Our viewers don't know you yet, or don't quite know you yet. Although I told them some things about yourself when I posted the book on our social media pages. But I want you to describe the work that you do to us so that our people can get to know you. So I'm just going to ask you to individually do this, beginning with Professor Michael. This is your time.
Okay, thanks so much. So I'm Michael Brownstein. I'm a professor of philosophy at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, where I'm also the chair of the philosophy department. And I'm also a professor of philosophy at the Graduate Center at CUNY. My work really exists at the intersection of science and ethics broadly. But most recently, I've been working on what I would call the philosophy of social change. I teach courses for undergraduates all over the map. This semester, I'm teaching a course on epistemology. For graduate students, I've taught mostly classes on social change and climate change.
That's awesome. Let's hear from Dr. Daniel.
Thanks. I'm Daniel Kelly. I'm in the philosophy department at Purdue University in Indiana in the United States. Been here for about 20 years. Most of my research is also at the intersection of moral theory and philosophy of mind, often informed by a kind of evolutionary perspective, be it cultural or biological. The other sorts of work that I'm doing right now, in addition to this book that we just published, is kind of in the same area. So I'm also doing work on narrative identities and social identities, and also working on another book on the psychology of social norms and norm change, which I've taught classes on to graduate students. So norms and moral psychology in various guises, different classes there. And for undergrads, I teach our big intro to philosophy class. I teach a class on their conceptual foundations of cognitive science. And then two classes I've designed in the last couple of years are moral psychology and climate change, and one on creating and coming up with your own values. It's called Fun and Other Untimely Values.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. Let's hear from Dr. Alex.
Okay, that leaves me. Yes, I'm Alex Madva, professor of philosophy at Cal Poly Pomona, where I'm also the director of the California Center for Ethics and Policy and co-director of the Digital Humanities Consortium. I work on a lot of the same stuff as Dan and Mike, including writing a book with them. I also work on intersectionality and thinking about that from a philosophical perspective, and other topics related to figuring out how the mind works and looking at the most recent developments in the social and cognitive sciences and how that informs how we ought to live. Classes I teach include cognitive science, race and racism. There's a course I developed on implicit bias, and I'm in a pretty small department where we have to recruit non-experts to teach in other topics as well. So I also teach our ancient Greek philosophy course and a course on Latin American philosophy.
That's great. Thank you so much for that, gentlemen. One thing that I have to emphasize is that in as much as we do market the books here on the book series, we do also market the authors and the work that they do. So viewers and listeners, those of you who would want to check out the work that our guests do, please click the links that are in the description panel so that you can see their profiles, some of the publications that they have done, and other works that they do at their respective universities.